Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Wilmington. Please stand and join us for our opening song and greet each other with a hug, a handshake, or what have you. But good morning.
We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. We come together to behold the power of love, the power of light. We come together to behold. We are divine. Lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. See, lift up our hands, oh, lift up our hearts, lift up our vision, lift it to the stars. Dance in the glory, whirl in the grace. See God in every face. See God in every face. See God in every face.
Good morning, happy Sunday. God is doing a little trick on us. It's still winter out there. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, we are warm in our hearts and warm in our spirits, and we're all glad to be here this fine day. I am Lainey Morger, your platform host, and allow me to introduce the players on this wonderful Sunday. In our sound booth is Jose Antonio, who is doing the lights and the sounds. And we have our musicians, Justin, Mitch, and our music director, Katie Deese. Our prayer chaplain for the day is Shirley Melito, who will be doing our daily word, and we'll be happy to join you in our prayer corner after the service. Our singer for the day is Megan Golden. And welcoming you in today have been, oh yes, sure, I forgot her name, Sharon Hertner and Donna DeGitis. And serving us in our hospitality afterwards will be Louise Miller and Bill DeRocher. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody here for the first time today? Yay. Well, our ushers will give you a packet. We invite you to fill it out and share your information with us. Anybody here for the second or third time? And for everybody else who keeps coming and coming and coming, it's a great place to come back to. It's a hard place to leave from. So we just keep on coming back. For all of you out there in cyberspace, welcome, 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 welcome. Let us know you're there. Write a little note in the chat column, and we'll get back to you. Anyway, please join me in our opening statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And our affirmations. I am a divine expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time, right now. And now Shirley will do our daily word.
Thank you, Lainey. Good morning, everybody. This is the daily word for March 24th, 2024. The Christ within protects and clears my way, is the affirmation. As I enter Holy Week, I reflect on Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem and how the multitudes greeted him, shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord." Like so many, I have used the sacred time of Lent to cleanse my soul of beliefs and habits that no longer serve me. I have felt blessed as I've opened my heart to the healing and cleansing waters of Spirit. Now I feel ready to welcome a greater awareness of the Christ within me. Every part of me quivers with eager anticipation. The world seems fresh. I feel newly alive. I behold the Christ in me and in all others. With joy I celebrate. With gratitude, I humbly bless the Christ in me and in everyone. And the Bible verse that goes with this daily word is from the book of Matthew, chapter 21, verse 9. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna!
And it is all of us. We come in the Lord's name. Shirley will be in the prayer corner after the service. If you make a connection, make your reconnection with your higher power, there's a request box there to put your requests in. And also, those are covered here for 30 days by our prayer team. And then after that, they are sent to Silent Unity, where they are prayed over for another 30 days. So having said that, please, we are a prayer congregation. Megan?
Well, it's been building up inside of me for, oh, I don't know how long. I don't know why, but I keep thinking something's bound to go wrong. But she looks in my eyes and makes me realize when she says, "Don't worry, baby, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby." Guess that I should have kept my mouth shut when I start to brag about my car. But I can't back down now because I pushed the other guys too far. She makes me come alive and makes me wanna drive when she says, "Don't worry, baby, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby." She told me, "Baby, when you race today, just take along my love with you. And if you knew how much I love you, baby, nothing could go wrong with you." Oh, what she does for me, and it's enough for me. And she says, "Don't worry, baby, everything will turn out alright. Don't worry, baby, don't worry, baby."
Wow, let's not worry at all. Let's give Megan another round of applause. Can't help but smile when you hear Megan and you hear the Beach Boys, right? I know there's a few in here today that are a little bit younger than remember the Beach Boys, but you can still listen to them on the radio, right? And I'm probably dating myself even saying you can listen to them on the radio. I put on my TV the other morning to listen to music, and I was like, oh, there's the Spotify app. I'll click that. And then I was like, it's my daughter's. I don't even know the password, how to even get into it. Where's the radio when you need it? Anyway, happy Sunday, everyone. It is Palm Sunday, as we've just learned or relearned or remembered. And before we get into the lesson, obviously we're going to do a meditation. But I want to do something a little bit different with our meditation this morning. There's been so many of our congregants and actually people in the world that are just dealing with stuff, right? Whether it's an illness or recovering from surgery or going into surgery or has a family member that's dealing with something. I want to take our prayers into our meditation this morning. So there's a number of folks in our congregation specifically that are dealing with some things, and I think it's a great opportunity, since Unity is a community of prayer, that, you know, even though we put it in the prayer box and we work with the prayer team, that the congregation can also pray for its own congregants. So I have a passage that I want to read, and we'll use that for our meditation this morning. So it is in this thing called You, which is one of my favorites, as I share every single time. And they've got some beautiful prayers and meditations in here. So I invite everybody to get comfortable, take a deep breath. Another deep breath in. And close your eyes if that's comfortable. And take these words into your meditation, into our meditation. My body is a temple of the living Spirit. It is spiritual substance. Every part of my body is in harmony with the living Spirit within me. The life of this divine Spirit flows through every atom of my being, revitalizing, reinvigorating, and renewing every particle of my physical body. There is a pattern of perfection at the center of my being, which is now operating through every organ, function, action, and reaction. My body is a divine idea forever renewed by the Spirit. My body is a divine idea of spirit. Silently repeat that to yourself. My body is a divine idea of spirit. I am perfect, whole, and complete. Know this for yourself. Know this for your fellow congregant. Know this for anyone who is seeking healing and wholeness. And so bringing this awareness to every cell in our body, to every person on this planet, we embrace the truth of who we are. Divine, perfect, whole, and complete. And we can never be separated from that divine intelligence that is always operating through us and as us. And so with this renewed awareness, we hold that. We do not let it go as we bring our awareness to this present moment, wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, just open up your eyes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Well, it feels like it finally warmed up in here. Is everybody warm? Yeah. It was really cold when we stepped in here. How many of you were cold when you walked in? Probably wasn't just me, right? It was cold, right? As I was sharing with Lainey earlier, I think March has decided to, come in like a lamb and go out like a lion. Right? It's supposed to be the other way around. At least that's what I learned growing up, is that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb. Anyway, so today is Palm Sunday. We're still in Surrender Month. But Palm Sunday, as it was shared in the Daily Word, Palm Sunday represents when Jesus came in to Jerusalem on a donkey, not a steed, because a donkey represents peace and victories, versus a steed, which represents war. And so the actual palms themselves were laid at his feet to show that he comes in peace. So I want our theme today, even though my talk is not on this, I want our theme today to be palms up for peace. So I want everybody to put your palms up. Palms up for peace. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah, palms up for peace, prosperity, perfect divine health. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about how we can create that, And, Jesus surrendered in peace, and he surrendered any thoughts of hate, right? He surrendered any thoughts of hate in peace. And so I'm going to read a few passages today. As you can see, I have a number of different books. So since the name of my talk is In the Flow, or Go with the Flow, I'm using a lot of things from In the Flow of Life. So Jesus talked about that quite a bit. When Jesus said, in effect, pray for those who despitefully use you, he indicated the need to elevate your thoughts about them, for they are your thoughts that are obstructing the flow in your mind. Your thoughts are obstructing the flow in your mind. So anytime we are holding any thought of hate, or we despise someone, or we don't like someone, or we don't even like what's going on in the world, what we're doing is obstructing our own thoughts. And so by coming in peace and keeping our palms up for peace, we are going with the flow. And surrender is all about being in the flow of God and being in the flow of, our divine essence. So our spiritual principle is all about that. The 5 principles of unity are all about going with the flow and recognizing who we are. We are one with God. We co-create with God. In prayer, we bring about the vision that we want, and the more we practice it, the more we are that. So going with the flow, again, another passage here, is awakening the consciousness of that dynamic flow of life so that you can experience a progressive outpouring of this flow in creative and dynamic ways in every phase of your life. Every phase of your life, no matter what age or stage you are, we can recognize that we are always in flow. So I'm going to tell you what the lesson is, and then I'll remind you what the lesson is at the end. So our lesson today is going with the flow, is going with God, as God, allowing divine wisdom to flow through you. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. How we can allow divine wisdom to flow through us so that we don't clog the flow. So life is a flowing experience, and the only certainty is change. Look at the weather. Man, it's done a boomerang from what it was yesterday. I went to the Feast of Wilmington. Has anybody been to any of the Feast of Wilmington events yet? Oh, there might still be tickets for the one this afternoon. But it talk about, boomerang weather. It did everything yesterday except snow, because we were there from like 11 to 2, and it was overcast, and then it was raining, and then it stopped raining, and the sun came out, and it was hot, and then it started raining again. So, and it's freezing out there. So everything changes. Weather changes. Seasons change. Age, health, career, finances. Is there something that doesn't change? What was it? God. There we go. Right? It's the one changeless thing is God. But we live in these human forms. So our bodies change, our lives change, we change partners, we change homes. And when we are resisting, we are clogging the divine flow of those experiences. I mean, if we truly believe that we are always in the right place at the right time, then why would we resist anything? Why would we resist anything? Because we're supposed to be where we are. Because, as I said, resistance just clogs the flow. It's like that gunk that's in my shower. Anybody have any gunk? That's where all my hair is going. We even put one of those drain things that are supposed to stop the hair. Yeah, no, it's still clogging. It's still clogging. So we can't resist, as I said, the rain, but, I brought a rain bonnet. I can't resist if it's going to rain or not, but I can bring an umbrella or a rain jacket. Right? We can't resist when our kids are growing up, unfortunately. The kids just turned 25 and my daughter moved out of the house. But we can embrace, we can give them the wings to fly. And we can't resist, unfortunately, getting older, but we can embrace the flow of being in a wiser state than we were. Hopefully we get wiser as we get older, right? We get wiser as we get older. And the more we resist the flow, the more we stay stuck wherever we are. So let's see what else we've got from going with the flow. Page 139. I had a lot of fun. I think I'm going to teach a course on this book next because there's so much stuff in here. So talk about aging, right? When we resist getting older, and I was thinking about this, is coloring my hair resisting getting older? Is putting on, facial treatments resisting getting older, right? Or is that just wanting to look your best, right? Yeah, the women out there are saying, yes, that's wanting to look your best. But there's a difference. Right? We get out of flow through the subtle enslavement to the cult of youthfulness, according to Eric Butterworth. Right? It's implied that youth is supposed to be better when you're younger. When we constantly think and talk about ways to appear youthful, we're out of the flow of life. So I got hung up on that because I'm like, I do a lot to appear youthful. Right? I put makeup on, I do my hair, I work out. I want to appear youthful. But it's not that I don't want to age. I am excited that I'm going to be 66. I'm looking forward to being 70, 75, 85, 120, and more, because the physical body can live that long. And when we connect with that divine flow within us, what he's really saying is that as we get older, we've bought into this idea that says, oh, well, you're too old to do that, or that's just for the young, or, there's just not enough time left. And yet, I know I look around this congregation, people are doing more and more the older they get. I mean, Dr. Herbert is 80 years old. He is our co-minister at 80. And I know we've got, many 80-plus-year-olds sitting in this congregation that are vibrant and youthful. I think we have to just change what our idea is about youthful, right? When we are in, I didn't have enough coffee this morning, I only had 1 cup. When we are in the divine flow, we are ageless. We are ageless. And that's exciting. That's exciting. So, here's my affirmation for us today. Let it come, let it go, let it flow. Let's say that together. Let it come, let it go, let it flow. Yeah. Thank you. So Gandhi said there's a force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results, right? There's a force in the universe. We are the embodiment of that force in the universe. And again, we forget that. We forget that. Now, Myrtle Fillmore, who's one of the founders of Unity, she was diagnosed with tuberculosis. It ran in her family, but she was not going to accept that that was going to be her destiny. She was not going to accept that. And I think it's in this book too. She literally cured herself, but here's what she said, and I think this is really powerful. She said, I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. Despite the medical verdict, she got into the flow of healing. She went on to live a full 45 years after that diagnosis. Right? I'm a child of God. I do not inherit sickness. I do not inherit poverty. I do not inherit fill in the blank, whatever it is that you think is your destiny, because it was in your family. Right? We are all children of God. We co-create what it is that we want for our lives. And we have to align ourselves with divine mind first to be able to do that. We don't want to be clunking up and clogging up, right, those drains. We want to be in the flow. And when we're in the flow, those who flow as life flows know they need no other force. I don't need anything else if I'm in the divine flow. Another quote, another passage to read here. Page 45 here in this one. I'll come back later. I'll read the whole book to you. All right, he says, keep in mind that the healing stream is constant. This is important. The healing stream is constant, not present only when you affirm that it's working. It's there, just like God is always there. When you're in the stream constantly, even if you've been fishing on the wrong side of the boat, and what he means by that is wrong thinking, manifesting less than wellness and experience. The need is not to this is also really important. The need is not to overcome illness, but simply to get into the flow. Because that's what happens a lot of times. We try to overcome something, whether it's lack in our finances, relationship, creativity. I feel like many days I'm banging my head against the wall in my business, like I've got to overcome this challenge. That's when we need to recognize we're not in flow. We've clogged the flow. So once again, any attempt to overcome the physical problem may well give rise to even further tension and stress, which will set up conditions that could neutralize your effects or make it worse. So we just need to get into the flow. And what we need to do that is, once again, just to recognize that we are a divine expression of God, as God expressing. That's it. That's it. It's like, be still and know that I am God. And if that's the only thing we remember every day, if that's the only prayer that we say every day, be still and know that I am God, I'm in the flow. I'm in the flow, and things will flow to me. So we also want to recognize as well, and this goes, tied back to, Palm Sunday, is we need to also recognize that being in the flow and being in God and of God is also good, because God is good. So that means we are good and everyone else is good, no matter what the appearance is. So there's a story that I was reading in one of these books, maybe I'll pull it out, about this woman, old woman, didn't say how old she was. Well, pick whatever age you want. But she was leaving church and she was held up at gunpoint. So a man came out of the alley, put a gun to her head, and said, "Give me your purse." And without fear, she looked at him and said, "You are a child of God, and I love you." And the gunman was taken aback by that, and he shoved the gun even further and said, "Hey, lady, give me your purse or I'm going to shoot you." And she just very calmly said, "You are a child of God, and I love you." And the guy dropped his gun and ran off. How many of you, be honest with yourself, would be able to do that? I thought about it and was like, I would be terrified. In that moment, I'm sure she probably was, but she recognized the divinity in all of us. She recognized we are all God. And she wasn't afraid, to lose her physical form in that experience. And she connected with the divinity in this person and connected with who we are at our core, which is love. And last week we talked about surrendering to the shamrock, right? Love, power, not power, love, faith, and hope. And so that's what she was doing. She was surrendering in that moment to peace, to love, to truth of who we all are. And I read that passage a number of times, and I was like, you know what? If I'm ever in that situation, I have to remember that. I have to remember that story. I have to remember who I am and not be afraid. And not be afraid. And so at each and every one of us, no matter what it is that we're dealing with, right, we all have different versions of, I think, guns held to our head. Whenever I look at my finances, it feels that way. Right? We all have different guns held to our heads. Can we remember in that moment to deal with that through the eyes of God, through the eyes of love, through the eyes of this unlimited potential that we all have, and come to it from a place of peace? So how many of you know who John Muir is? Yeah, quite a few of us do. How would you describe him? How would you, who could describe John Muir to the congregation who knows him well? Lover of nature. That's perfect way to describe him. So he said, rocks and waters, etc., are words of God, and so are men. We all flow from one fountain, soul. All are expressions of one love. So here's a man who wasn't necessarily religious or spiritual. I mean, I obviously didn't know him personally. But what he's saying is what unity is all about. It's what we practice. Right? The one love of God, universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to name it, it's the same thing. And we all come from that. Rocks, flowers, plants, animals, bugs, even bugs, That's why we have bug catchers in every room in our house. Just the other day, where's the bug catcher that was in the living room? And it's like this ugly plastic cup. So I'm always hiding it so it doesn't disturb my aesthetic. But so, they're there to take out the bugs because the bug is God. Right? Everything on this planet is here for a reason. So the bug needs to do its bug thing. Just do it out there. It's true. We are all interconnected. I have a dear friend in California who raises, she has this program called, it's Shadowland Ranch, and she does wolf awareness trainings. Because the wolves are they're a keystone species. And when you try to eradicate one species, whether it's the wolf, whether it's bears, bees, bugs, that's a domino effect. Everything is interconnected. So we have to surrender. This is my personal belief. I think we have to surrender this idea that man is superior. Just because I can't communicate with my cat doesn't mean I'm smarter than my cat. My cat's pretty smart. He knows how to put his paw under my door and rattle it so that I open it so he can come snuggle with me, right? Shh. They're not allowed in the bedroom, but he has such a mournful, soulful cry, right? So just because I can't communicate with the bug, I can watch them and I see their feet or whatever it's not feet. What are they called? Maybe they are feet. But they have their own language. Everything on this planet is here for a reason. Just because I don't want to live with it doesn't mean it doesn't have the right to live. And I was actually thinking about this the other day when I was driving up College and they're putting in more housing developments. And I'm thinking, the trees that they're going to be cutting down. And I'm thinking, where are the birds going to go? I've become such a bird watcher and really enjoying birds in my backyard and listening to them and all the different colors. And I got really sad. I was like, wow, I'm getting it. It's taken me 65 years, but I'm finally getting it. How, when we do something for ourselves, are we really thinking about how it impacts everything else, every other aspect of nature? And when, things are going on in other parts of the world as far as, things that we're doing. Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't impact me. So we really need to remember that if we want to be in the flow of life, it's all life, everywhere, all the time, into space, into other planets and galaxies. I'm watching a new show called Three Body Something. And it's blowing my mind because it's like, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised that it could be true. Could be true, right? So as I said, unity teaches us that we're all connected, because without the bees, there wouldn't be all these beautiful flowers and the azaleas that are blooming everywhere, right? Without the trees, there wouldn't be the red cardinals and the blue jays and all the other, amazing birds. And without love, we will not have a planet. Without love, we will not have a planet. We have to remember that. And here's a song. I was thinking maybe this would be the song for today. I forgot the name of it, but the lyrics are, just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean, 'tis the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean, that's the reason. I thought you might get it if I sang a little bit. So let's review what our lesson was today, or our lesson is today. Going with the flow is going with God. And it's going as God, allowing our divine wisdom to flow through us. And so in the words of the bass guitarist of Fish, yeah, I know a lot of people love Fish. He said, surrender to the flow. And so what I want to do is read a prayer and invite you to close your eyes as I read through this one. So just take a deep breath. and think of surrendering to the flow. Is this the right book? I think I wrote down the wrong one. Bear with me. Just breathe. All right, here we go. Truth lives forevermore at the center of my being. I know that the faith that walked over the troubled waters of human experience 2,000 years ago are at the center of my own being. And I know that the inner calm that stilled the tempest is accessible to me today. And I know that the truth within me is always triumphant. The truth within me, who I am, is always triumphant. And we come in peace. And so let's finish with our affirmation. We'll say it peacefully and with zest. Can you do that? Peacefully with zest. Ready? Let it come, let it go, let it flow. All right, thanks everyone. All right, so it is that flowing time for our donations. And we greatly appreciate, there we go. We greatly appreciate not just your tithes here on Sunday, but those of you that give online, those of you that give your time and your talent. We recognize all of you. And so let's go ahead and do our mudra. I believe that's up there. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and all I am and all I do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are and all we do is a blessing to the world. Be a blessing to the world.
These blessings, these are divine flow, God in action. And I know that what we give, we receive multiplied abundantly. And so with gratitude and thanksgiving for what's in this basket, what is donated online, and just knowing that Unity of Wilmington is blessed beyond measure. And with love, I release my word knowing it's done. And together we all say, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. All right, well, we are blessed to have Megan come back up and sing us another song.
Don't know much about your life. Don't know much about your world. Don't wanna be alone tonight on this planet they call Earth. You don't know about my past, and I don't have a future figured much about you, world.
Wow, we come to the end of another service. It's amazing how that happens. We did take a chance. We are taking chances every time we take a breath. And we're winning because it's all based in love. The announcements for the day are, as you have heard several times, it is Palm Sunday. That means it's the last day, essentially, to order flowers that will be placed here on the platform for next Sunday. The table out in the lobby will be happy to help you do that. Please do so. We have not as many ordered as last year's, and hopefully we can have as many, if not more. But regardless, they are all beautiful and will reflect our generosity and our love. So flowers today. Also out in the foyer is a bin for the domestic violence fund drive. We are providing materials for women caught up in domestic violence, so any kind of women's toiletries, not cosmetics, mostly toiletries, and essential items will be collected between now and the end of April and then delivered to the domestic violence shelters for those of us who are dealing with troubles that I don't know about and I don't want to, but I bless you for dealing with them. Next, in 2 weeks, on April 2nd, Reverend Ellen will be repeating her class on A Guide to the Five Principles, Embrace Timeless Wisdom. The class registration forms are in the fellowship hall. There is a $100 fee for the class. There are 5 classes, plus a book. If you have attended the class before, you can attend for half price, so it's even better. But for those going the first time, it has gotten rave reviews, and it is being repeated because it has been requested by the participants of the last time around. So join us on 5 Tuesdays starting April the 2nd. Let's see what else is there. Oh, incidentally, if we would like, and if it is necessary, there are scholarships to that class. And the forms are available also in the community room. And after the service today, Curtan will be here at 12:30. So join her in singing and chanting and being at peace again and meditating. So now we really have come to the end of the service. So please stand and join me in our closing prayer. It's so peaceful in here today. It's lovely. It's really palpable. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
know that we are all divine expressions of God, each and every one of us, and we express ourselves in love, joy, peace, and prosperity, always in the flow. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. Namaste.